Greetings, spies, assassins, students, and puppies. This is the Amateur Otaku Podcast where we're talking Spy Family Season 1. I'm your host, Mike. Joining me is Jamie. Jamie, we've been reviewing Spy Family since Core 2 at least together, but on the channel we've been covering it week to week as a whole. We're finally at the end. What were your thoughts on that finale?
I really liked it. I thought that they kind of brought back more of what I was looking for. Of course, pushing the plot, but also seeing more of Lloyd do his spy thing and really try to do some quick thinking as far as, not he tried to get the star child, didn't end up working out that way. So he has to improvise a little bit. So it's cool to see kind of where this show is going next.
Yeah, I loved this final episode of the season. It really, you're right, it highlights Lloyd as a character, but I also love the fact that it highlights Anya as well, right? Because Anya is the one who's keeping Plan B afloat, right? Like she got in trouble there by punching Damien in the face
Hmm.
in their first interaction, but she's making the work around the comeback and seeing, and I love the fact that Lloyd gets to see her as well, right? See her interactions with Desmond, and that gives some insight into her and how she feels about Lloyd, and it kind of helps him reevaluate how one he's treating Anya, but also the relationship between second son and his father. I love that we're just
Hmm.
going to keep referring to him as second son, but I do think it was a touching moment that way, but also finally, like you said, pushing the plot forward. And yeah, end of the season, we get First Contact, which is the name of the episode. I'm surprised. I guess I shouldn't be because that's just been par for the course. But I'm surprised we got hardly no Yor in the season finale. Did that rub you the wrong way?
Honestly, no, but I feel like I've just gotten used to, getting sprinklings of yore here and there. So hopefully we'll get more in the second season. But I honestly feel like this episode did a really good job of
Mm,
just not only like giving Lloyd, I guess, like the spotlight, but also making it so that everyone else like played their part to give Lloyd like the information and the like I guess experiences that he needed to handle the situation, like what you were saying with, Lloyd observing Anya's interactions with Damien, her second son, and then using that to his advantage. But also, using the whole like always seen from the first season, like his life being a family man, or at least pretending to be a family man, and using that advantage when interacting with Damien's family.
yeah. This is coming in from Isaac, by the way. Thanks, Isaac. This episode adapts chapters 37 and 38 of the manga and no filler whatsoever. So you love to see it. I
Mhm.
reevaluating everything, right? Because this is a season one review as well. I'm shocked that they were able to stretch the plot this long without having Lloyd make contact with Damien's father, right?
Mhm.
I think it worked for the most part. I know we kind of hit a rough patch a couple episodes where it kind of just felt like nothing but filler.
Yeah.
But I'm surprised how much I fell in love with these characters over the course of 25 episodes. And so when we get to this moment, it hits way harder than I expected to. Like when they finally meet and they're standing there face to face, I didn't expect to feel chills go down my spine when it happened.
Yeah, it's been an interesting journey for sure. They're definitely, like you were saying, they did hit their rough patches, but I think like the at least good part about those quote unquote rough patches was that we got to know the characters a little bit more and just get a greater understanding of like each of their perspectives. Even Yor had a little bit of spotlight in there, although I don't know if most of it was canon or not, but we still got to see that.
Yeah.
So yeah, I just really enjoyed getting to know these characters this season and seeing some of what they're capable of, and I hope we continue to see that next season.
Yeah, one thing I love is that we did establish that family dynamic between the three. And when we started this season, like in the first few episodes, we meet them all individually. We meet Twilight the spy. We meet Yor the assassin. We meet Anya who was orphaned at the time. And seeing them come together and seeing them grow as a family unit has been really fun. Like the introduction of Bond is was so great earlier in the season, and I love that this family's just bizarre, right? We have a dog that can see the future, but
Mhm.
can't talk. That's the drawback. So you like, can all dogs see the future? My dog can very well see the future. I never know. Just like Lloyd doesn't know his dog can. And it's just so creative and so clever, and it's why I think this show is such an easy watch, right? For new viewers. It's because you jump in and you instantly get that connection between all of them. It's just been such a blast.
Yeah, absolutely.
So as we wrap up the season discussion, I have a question for you. Out of all
Yeah.
25 episodes, which one was your favorite?
Ooh, bye. That is a tough question. Let me see. I actually have the list of the episodes here. There are so many good ones to pick. Um, I don't know. I like the finale a lot.
Mhm.
Just because it felt like I guess like this second core was a lot of not necessarily filler, but we were kind of building a lot of tension towards this final moment. So I really liked how that was executed.
Yeah.
Honestly, the tennis tournament was really fun. The tennis tournament I'm gonna remember for a long time.
You know,
Um
in a world where Blue Lock is just like killing it as far as sports anime go, it's a shame that for some reason this tennis two-parter was my jam. And it shouldn't have gone as hard as it did, and I love it for it. Like it's just so ridiculous.
It was really fun to watch.
So much fun. I
Um, yeah, I don't know if I could pick like one singular episode, but definitely the two episodes of the tennis tournament really fun. And actually, in the first court, I believe it was, seeing Anya's dodgeball tournament, her go through like her sports arc, like, this is how I'm gonna get all of the bolts through
Yep.
sports, through gym, and then just discover, you know what, I'm not good at gym. I thought that was really fun too.
I That's another thing that I love about Anya is that throughout the entire show, she understands Lloyd's mission, and I think that just makes for incredible interactions of I need to be good at sports. I'm bad at sports. Sports. Okay, I need to be good at school. I'm terrible at school. Okay, I need to
Mhm.
befriend Damien Desmond. Punches him in the face on the very first interaction they have. And it's like, oh, Anya. It's so funny seeing her get into these wacky situations because she's just so adorable. But then in turn, it makes Lloyd's life so much harder and stressful. And that's why the comedy just always works in unison off of those two. I love it.
Yeah, it really works. I think like the funny part, which I didn't even think about before then, is just uh Anya trying to make it her personal mission to connect with Damien. And I don't think she's ever read his mind or anything. So she's more so more more trying to build a genuine connection than trying to just, I guess, like, cheat her way through. I don't know if she can't read his mind or she just can't read his thoughts, but, um, the
Mhm.
funniest part about it is that for some reason, it's kinda working. Like, Damien does like her to some extent and is willing to, like, expand on whatever it is they have together, but it's just like Anya is not most of the time does something silly or awkward and scares him off. But not so far off that he's uninterested, but just enough that's like, all right, we're retiring for the day. Try again tomorrow.
Yeah, he's clearly attracted to her in some form or fashion.
Yep.
And, you know, again, we love her. She's adorable. I get it. But I do think it's funny because, yeah, she doesn't read his mind often. In the finale, she actually does read his mind. That's how she knows why he's scared to meet his father. And she even calls him out on it. And he's like, what, are you
Mm.
reading my mind or something? And that's when she backs off. I think she is aware enough to be like, if I'm reading his mind too often, it's going to make me seem even weirder and creepier than I already am by being a stalker. I think maybe I'm giving Anya too much credit because, no offense, she's kind of an idiot at times.
Yep.
but
Yep.
I feel like she understands that reading his mind too often will only lead to bad results. You
Yep.
know, as far as my favorite episodes, There's a lot of them here. It's kind of hard to narrow down to just one. I think I still go back to the school interview when they're trying
Mm.
to get into Eton and seeing Lloyd just like punch that desk when they started insulting Yor and making Anya cry. I'm just like, okay, I love you guys. This is so wacky. They had like three changes of clothes that day. It was so ridiculous. It was so much fun. There's a lot of good stuff in core one. There's a lot of good stuff in core two as well. Like Yor's
Yeah.
kitchen, it still cracks me up how everyone just like Yuri is literally dying before everyone. He doesn't even realize
Mhm.
it.
Like, this is what good food does, right? Just can't live after you eat it. That's exactly what it does.
In the dub, it's so funny because he's literally saying, I see mom. She's waving towards me at the light. She's calling me to come with her. This food is so amazing, you are. It's like, my guy, that's death, bro. It's such a fun time. So we met a lot of new characters. I guess technically everyone in this show is a new character. Do you have a particular favorite? And I know we can talk about our main three, but like I want to think about supporting characters or side characters that kind of stand out to you as well.
All right. I think a side character that I like that we haven't seen a whole lot of, at least of yet. As of yet, we've seen her in moments here or there. Is like Lloyd's boss, the spy lady. I really
Yeah.
like her a lot, and she seems like a really interesting character. And we've heard a little bit about her past, and I think she was a mother at some point, so she kind of connects with Lloyd and the fact that you try to do what you can to please your children within reason. And
Yeah.
so I really want to see more from her. She's a badass lady. I almost feel like in terms of like women that we've seen do badass things, she might be tied with Yor, or at least very close, which is a problem. Season 2, step it up. We need more Yor. We need more Yor. But other than her, I would definitely say Fiona. Fiona's was super, super
She's so great.
fun, and like added an interesting dynamic to Lloyd and Yor's relationship, and actually pulled them closer together because they actually like sat down and talked about something after Yor hit Lloyd in the face. um, and so I really liked what she did for their relationship, but I'm wondering, could she do something like that again, or maybe she'll actually get to serve as like Anya's mentor in some way in the next season. That'd be pretty funny to see.
That would be amazing. Fiona is, like I love Fiona so much as a character because she's that one thing I think the show needed. I say it on Twitter all the time. I love mess. And the drama that she adds, the friction that she adds between the Forger family, it's exactly what I want to see. I love the drama, I love the chaos, and it's so funny because Lloyd doesn't understand. He's so oblivious. And that's what's like Lloyd, for him to be the most perceptive spy in the show, he's also like the dumbest when it comes to social awareness. He doesn't
Hmm.
realize that Fiona's in love with him. He doesn't realize that Yor is jealous of Fiona. And it's like, you think he would also realize that Anya has read his mind so many times and he just shrugs it off? Like, after three times, you think he would have caught on. But
Yeah.
or at least question like they were doing experiments on children. I feel like that's information a spy would have, and he could probably pick up on that, but that's okay. But yeah, I love the vibes that Fiona adds to the show. It's something that was just completely different from what we've had before. And
Hmm.
yeah, you're right, Handler, she is a great character, and she's got a great character design. You can't get mad at a giant hat. I mean, come on.
Nah, I mean, Lady Demetress did it. Now the handler's doing it. It's in fashion right now.
It is so in fashion. So one thing I wanted to ask right quick before we move on, Yuri. We've had a full season with Yuri now, just about, and I
Hmm.
know he is a character that is very divisive with some people. You either love him or you hate him. Where are you at with Yuri?
I like him. I think he's fun. He adds like a little bit of tension to Yor and Lloyd's relationship because he really loves Yor, and for that reason he absolutely hates anybody else that tries to get near her.
Yeah,
And I actually want to see him utilized more next season because he definitely has that threat of, working for the government and being able to possibly turn in Lloyd. I don't know if he can fight, but I would like to see what that would look like maybe the next season. That I'm
Yeah.
sure he would be down to do it. I don't know if he would be successful, but I think he'd be down to fight Lloyd at some point. Um, and I think that I don't know, like the whole jealous brother archetype thing has definitely been done before, so I can see why people wouldn't like it. But in terms of just like the way that he fits into the scenario and into like these characters' lives and those relationships, I think he works really great.
Yeah. You know, I like him as well. It's just his relationship with Yor. It's so backwards and funny and weird, but
Mm,
he's very much a character that if he's around too often, it can become annoying. So he's better in small doses. I think they've been handling him perfectly. But if he
yep.
was just like a supporting character that was in every episode, kind of like how Becky and Damien are, I don't think I can take him, honestly.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair.
Yeah. You know what? I kind of want to analyze some of the plot threads here because it's very easy to shrug off the second core a little bit because we did have those filler episodes. We did have like those two-part or those episodes that were only 11 minutes apiece.
Hmm.
The entire plot of the show, it's East versus West, and I think that's why hopefully in season 2, I know Isaac, you're out there somewhere laughing in manga. Ha ha ha.
Hmm.
But I'm very fascinated to see where this goes in season 2, right? Because we do have obstacles for Lloyd set up, right, with Yuri. Um, I think that'd be really fascinating if they did kind of come to a head. And now that you mentioned him fighting, I do realize that we have not seen them throw hands very often in this show.
No,
Like
yeah.
it's a lot of espionage. It's not a lot of like one-on-one, hand-to-hand combat, or even like gun fu like Keanu Reeves is known for. We haven't gotten a lot of that from Lloyd. I think the problem is most of that comes from Yor. We're not going to talk about that. I'm still
Yeah.
mad.
Yeah.
Anything else stand out?
Um, I would love to see, or I guess something that stood out initially is Bond, and
Mhm.
his introduction as being one of the bomb dogs, and eventually, like very quickly turning over to the other side. He clearly did not want to be a bomb dog.
Can't blame
Um,
him.
and then I feel like he wasn't utilized as much after his initial introduction, with like a few highlights here and there. So I would love to see, since they get went through the trouble of giving him this ability of being able to see the future. I would love to see him utilized a little bit more in the second season. It's gonna be hard because he is a dog. He can't really speak, and he really is just there to bring the cuteness factor up, I guess. But I would be curious how they would further implement him into other things, because he could be a he was a trained dog agent before. I guess he could do it again, possibly. Maybe get Damien over to his side. Seemingly cute and fuzzy Trojan horse, and then bam, all the secrets are out, and Lloyd's mission is done.
Well, remember that was Anya's plan, right? Like I want him to realize how cute my dog is, and we can
Hmm.
that's my in with him, and he didn't care. That's so heartbreaking. Anya tried; she tried her best. Bond is definitely a character that I think they can utilize properly. Here's how you do it: you have them go on break, you have the kids go on like summer vacation or spring break, and the entire season it's Anya with the dog. Like they gave him the ability to see the future, but Anya's the only person who can actually tell us what's going on or what he sees because she can read his mind.
Right.
So you just make sure you have scenarios where he's paired with Anya, but the majority of the time. And that might be a fun thing to do, especially if Anya's at home. That means she's probably with Yor more often, and I get more Yor Anya Bond adventures.
Yeah, that would be great too. Oh my gosh. They had a few different like training montage slash just like general montages that were super cute and funny. So definitely need more of that.
100%. One of my favorite jokes this season, one of my favorite gags is when Yuri is like training Anya and trying to grill her with school, and Anya like he says, "No, you think you got a handle on grammar?" And Anya just responds, "What do you mean by grammar?" After like 3 hours of a study session,
Mhm.
and it's just like, Anya, you're so cute, but you are not that bright. I fear for your life going
Yeah.
forward with this whole spy war thing going on.
Yeah, I'm just like that's another thing I'm kind of curious about Loki. How is Lloyd going to step up Anya's education? Because if she wants to be more effective in like helping Lloyd's mission,
Right.
then grammar is I don't think it's going to help that much, but maybe Anya will be able to learn some other skill next season to help up her spy stats maybe, or maybe she'll start sneaking out and trying to figure out something that way. Um, I definitely want to see Anya progress and level up in the spy department because we all know that's what she wants to do.
Yeah. We did have that one episode where we went to Lloyd's office and she was being trying to be a detective for the
Hmm.
majority of the episode. That's the thing though. That's why I wanted to go back and like reevaluate the entire season as a whole and the plot of the season, because the plan is for her to get the Stellas, but she clearly isn't smart enough. Unfortunately, she's and again, I want everybody to remember Anya is like 4 or 5, pretending that she's 6 the entire time. So she's like 2 grades ahead of where she should be,
Hmm.
which I feel like a lot of times gets lost when people are talking about Spy Family. So yeah, she's pretending that she's younger than she actually is, and she's not doing great academically, and that's the thing. She's trying to get Stella's. And so plan B is, well, just become friends with Desmond. And that's not working either. So it's going to be really fascinating to see how they pivot. And I think that's what the finale was kind of setting up, is that Lloyd is like, hey, I need to try and get her to be friends with this kid, which is plan B. And the fact that Damien does say, I want to be friends with her too, even though he kind of said it hesitantly, it's
Hmm.
like, okay, that's the step in the right direction. So it's not a total failure, but yeah, it's gonna be really cool to see what it's like going forward, because he's already made first contact with Desmond and he can't go back. He knows his face. He can't like try and rewrite this now. They've officially
Right.
met and he's got to go forward with this version of the plan.
Yeah, and I think, the conversation that he had with Damien and that he had with Donovan in the finale have definitely made like huge steps. Like this final episode felt so I guess just powerful in the forms of like the moving forward with the plot and getting to like intersect these circles with Damien's family that I feel like he made like huge amounts of progress and will fundamentally have changed like the way that Damien goes about interacting with Anya in the future. And
Right,
maybe
because
even Becky. Becky, she's still trying to get in there.
you gotta love Becky. But yeah, you're totally right. Because even though Lloyd says don't mention this to Anya, you know this is still gonna be in the back of Damien's mind when interacting with Anya, right? Like, your
Hmm.
dad helped me for, even if it's just for that specific moment, get closer to my father. And that will have an effect on him, especially all the lies. I love how the show is pointing out, like, that was a lie. I had never said this. This never happened. Lloyd learned
Hmm.
this information by just being on the school premises. And it's like, but I love that they highlighted that, but it's also just gonna reinforce his relationship with Anya. So that's
Hmm.
gonna be really cool to see how they go about it. And I'm glad you mentioned Becky, because I love how Anya and Becky are just friends now, to the point where Becky's like, "You want to go shopping again?" That was a whole episode. We could technically do that episode again if we really wanted to. It's like, no,
Yeah.
we've got more important things to do today.
I have a feeling I don't know if they'll do the whole episode again, but I feel like they definitely will go shopping because I don't know. I think it's less likely they'll go to some sort of like Stella Award event, but more likely
Mm,
maybe just like a parent student ball or whatever the fancy school has planned. I'm sure they'll be meeting up again very
it could be like Community, where there's a party every like other week.
soon. Maybe I don't know. They got to get these characters together again somehow.
They have to, and Yeah, I wonder again because we got the announcement of the movie. I wonder if that's an idea that they would take there. Like, we don't know if the movie's going to be canon or not because manga's weird that way. But I'm really fascinated to see how they take all of these amazing characters and lump them up because I do like the pairing of Lloyd and Fiona, but I also like Lloyd and Yor. But I also like them separate because that's when they can do the spy and assassin stuff we really want them
Hmm.
to. So it's a weird juggling act of you want them together, but they also need to exist separately so they can actually do the stuff we want them to do, you know?
Right. Yeah, and that's definitely something we're all going to be looking forward to hearing more about, hopefully in the coming weeks.
Yeah, the movie's set to premiere in 2023. So I feel like like Isaac mentioned season 2 might be coming in July and I feel like that feels like it's too soon, but it's 6 months about right, I guess. Would be about a year from season 1's premiere date. So maybe, I don't know.
Yeah, possibly. I would love for it to happen.
Make it happen with Cloverworks. We're rooting for you. But yeah, this has been an amazing series. Definitely one of my favorite anime now, and I can't wait for it to
Oh
come
yeah.
back. It's also just perfect counter programming. That's why I think it paired really well when we were doing Chainsaw Man, Bleach, and My Hero Academia.
Yes.
Because it's that one, especially like this last episode of My Hero Academia was just depressing, and it's like I need the change of pace. I need the palate cleanser of Spy Family.
Oh yeah, yeah. That I 100% agree with that sentiment because that's exactly how I felt when I was starting the show.
Mm,
I'm not sure what anime I was watching at the time, but a lot of anime is like we're fighting, it's dramatic, and then we see like little girl and a guy. She reads his mind when he's trying to do Sudoku or something. She's like, "Yes, I'm in," and I'm like, "Oh my god, this is so cute and hilarious. Like this is great." So it
yeah,
definitely has like found its own niche among these other anime that are more action oriented. So it's definitely cemented its spot as one of my favorite.
yeah, definitely. You know, that's one thing that Brandon always likes to mention on the show, right? Like anime isn't just one specific genre. It's
Right.
just an art style. It's its own medium entirely, and I'm glad we're able to highlight a show like Spy Family. And even on the channel, we've highlighted like My Dress Up Darling, for example, is another series where it's like, yeah, not everything has to be as dramatic and heavy as Attack on Titan,
Hmm.
and Chainsaw Man. Love those shows. They're both amazing, but it's nice to be able to sit back and still get an amazing story with amazing characters without, having your heart beat out your chest every 5 minutes.
Yeah. And even with like some of the filler stuff, where we're not exactly like pushing like this main narrative forward, even like the smaller stories that they tell in those episodes are still really cute and fun. It's like, that's my breather for the day, so I'm good. That I like the episode.
Yeah. That's one thing that I'm glad as far as like filler goes in anime. I'm glad we've reached the point to where the studios are at least trying a bit harder with the filler, like Naruto filler. Like there's this one episode where Naruto has to fight a mechanical version of himself, and it is like, I'm sorry, what? I'm glad we've reached the point where the filler, it still makes sense in the context of the show. So even though it's not manga canon, it being anime canon doesn't hurt. And I feel like Spy Family has done that. I think they just had too many of them consecutively, but I don't have a
Yeah.
problem with any of the filler episodes we actually got, which is
Yeah.
totally different than back in the day when it was just 90% filler in a show like Dragon Ball or Naruto.
Hmm. Yeah, they done a great job with it.
Yeah. Is there anything else you want to hit before we call this an episode?
I guess just like, congratulations to Cloverworks for this huge success. And I know they got, I think the second season of Ranking of Kings coming up here very soon. So they're gonna
Yep.
stay busy for a while. But I do want to congratulate, the animators, directors, producers, everybody, voice acting cast, all of that for like putting on an amazing show. We've all really enjoyed it and can't wait to see what they do next.
Yeah, if you told me that the studio that was responsible for the first 3 seasons of Attack on Titan would make the cutest, most wholesome anime of all time, I wouldn't have believed you, but shout out to Wit and Cloverworks. Oh man, like that was the complete 180 from them right there. But I loved everything that they've done thus far. Can't wait to see what they do in the future.
Absolutely.
Guys, if you enjoyed this episode of Spy Family, make sure you give us a like and subscribe because we still have a lot to cover here. We've got Vinland Saga, My Hero Academia, Near Automata. It's a party every single week. Live streams moved to Thursdays, so make sure you guys check out the live streams every single Thursday. The crew's going to be back. Brandon and Isaac are going to be joining us as well, as we're going to be talking about Near Automata episode 1 and My Hero Academia Core 2 episode 1. We got a new intro and a new outro for MHA, and I've got thoughts. Make sure you're there to hear about them. Jamie, where can
Mm.
people find you?
Oh, you guys can find me at Swiper Art on Twitter and here on YouTube, as well as at Swiper_Prime on Twitch, and YouTube for my gaming related stuff.
Awesome, awesome. You guys can find me at Novice Cinephile. You can find Brandon at the Scarlet Fan 52. You can find Isaac at Emblem Maniac. And until next time, keep watching anime. Peace.